Pardon the shake. Good morning, my fellow YouTubers. Woo, that's car. Welcome to my Morning Joe episode. Right here we got a replica of Ed Leedskalnin's wheel. Working on that south. Everything you see with a black front is a north pole. Everything with a silver is a south. I'm just checking these, making sure they're what they're supposed to be. And right here we got a conflict. You got north, south, supposed to be a north. So we'll come over here and investigate. I got over here my down there. Sorry about that. Right here, I got my positive pole right there. Got my negative. Gonna connect the positive to the bottom. Just anywhere on that copper ring. And then on the negative, I'm just gonna hold that in my hand. You can see when I touch it, it gives spark. Now, also, when you touch it, go over here to this end. For some reason, this side is stronger. Guys got the shakes, had so much coffee in the morning. This side over here is stronger. You go touching. Outside will hold it. So back over here, south, what's that? That's not nothing going on over there. It's probably because we're not connected. I got this all disconnected over here. So this over here, the way I have this set up, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 intersections. So they're all linked together, okay? And that'll bring the ohms up so we don't heat them up so much. I'll run 12 volts through them. So there's 6. You got south, north, south, north, south, and it stops. Then you got to start off again. I'm going to link these 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got one more to do. Might as well do it. So I'll show you what I'm doing. You guys can see that. I'm gonna start off by just coating the magnets with a little tape. Now, as long as you keep the heat down, you ain't gonna have problems with the tape. But if you're going to not pay attention to how many ohms you are creating with how many turns you put around, for you guys who are just starting, these wires here are 16 gauge. There are 40 turns. Each whole loop around here is about 10 inches, so you can round it off by feet, and you can almost say there's 40 turns on here, so that means there's 40 feet. So just say 40 times, say 2 would be 80 inches. So you take off 80 inches. That would be like 38, 30, 39, 38 feet, something like that, or 38 and change. So when you put the tester on here and check for ohms, it comes out to almost between 8 and 9 ohms. So you could almost 10, maybe 9 and change. Sometimes it varies up and down. So linking 6 of these together, just say if it was 8, that'd be 48 ohms, and you can do your math from there with the 12 volts going in. So let's go ahead. We're gonna wrap this one. We got this one good to go. Now what we have to do, let's get this all connected and make sure they are north south, and then we'll make sure we wrap this the right way. So here I would have taken this, and it would be connected to here. This would be connected to that. That would be connected to that. That would be connected to that. That would connect to this, and then this goes to the bottom rail. So let's see where we started. We started from this one here, starting at the from the bottom rail. Move that over to here. That kind of confused me there for a second. So our start is at the bottom rail, and at that point we're gonna straighten these out. So I'll do them one at a time. I don't like these wires dangling, but I did that just for a test last night. So we're gonna join these two together. I think the best way to do it would be to meet down bottom there. I'll have them meet up here. So down over here. You guys, this is pretty good stuff. It's like automotive sandpaper. That shielding's pretty thick stuff. And you don't want it on there. It always seems to show its ass when you don't want it. And do what it was designed for. Alright, so we got 2-wire. So we got that to that. And then we got this side going over here. Let's straighten this all out. It takes some time, but before I had them all individually running off the hot and the negative, positive and negative, and they were strong little buggers, but they were heating up. They'll heat up so much they'll take the duct tape and melt it. But I've done my homework here, and the numbers tell me that this will be sufficient for 12 volts, and the amount of ohms. Had to bring the ohms up just to bring the temperature down, which is fine and dandy. Like, just like when my thoughts of what am I going to do with turning the wheel, well, I think for right now we'll get the wheel so the whole inside has a magnetic pull towards it. So what we'll do is, instead of going 12 volts, we won't worry about the magnet part of it so much because it's there. And what we'll do is we'll say I'll go 6 volts, I'll resist 12 volts down and start off with lower voltage. Say we start with 2 volts. What we're going to do is take probably 4 PMHs for starters. Like one over here, just spaced out evenly. So it's got 4 PMHs on it. And what I like to do with the PMHs is the front, I want to set each PMH with 4 coils. 4. So it'll have 2 on this side and 2 on this side. Let me grab one of these PMHs. And you can see there's a lot of iron on here. And what I'm going to do is set up 4 of these, and it'll have a coil. I'll have it so where you can slide spool here, spool here, spool here, spool here, so I can change the dimensions of the wire and the amount of turns. But we're going to create in the front a small magnetic field also here. We'll see. We'll do tests with how much voltage to start off the big wheel with and how much voltage needs to go in here. But on the back end of this, we want to pick up inductively voltage. I want to try that because I want to see what am I picking up, because the more voltage you add in the front here, in the front head, I would think, the more torque pressure there is on this wheel. This wheel's not going to have torque pressure unless it has the PMHs on the outside, creating that yin and yang effect. I mean, they're going to be pulling towards each other, and cheers. Then they're going to be able to put a good amount of power off the back of the PMHs, and I'm hoping to capture that power. And what we'll do is we'll charge my battery bank with that power. So that's just the wheel, whether I'm turning it, however I'm turning it, creating a source of power. We'll check that power and see what voltage is, and then we'll check and see what current we can pull out of it. And I got these gauges coming in here, and I'll be gauged out everywhere, digitally and analog, to really see what's going on. I'm not looking for volts, but I'm really looking for current.